my oldest. I had taken the boys to the dentist for a checkup when suddenly all the lights in the office went out. We were in the dark for a few seconds before the generator kicked in. My boys and I were ushered to the basement because a tornado had just touched down on a nearby town. After about an hour, we drove home zigzagging around large branches and sputtering electrical wires. When we finally got to our neighborhood, I was unable to get to my house because a tree had fallen and was blocking the entrance to my street. With the wind blowing and a heavy drizzle coming down, I parked and stepped out of the car. I tried to pull and push the tree out of the way, but I couldn't even budge it. As I made my way back to the car, I was shocked to see that the car door was open. My 5-year-old son had wiggled his way out of his booster seat. Panicked, I started calling for him. Suddenly, Armando comes running towards me, looking like a little man, his face, "Mommy, I got you some help." Behind him were 2 big men with rope and a pickup truck. My son had gone to the neighbors and asked for what I was too timid to ask for. That day, Armando taught me about boldness and resourcefulness. Now, my son Alejandro, who I nicknamed Big Al, because out of the 3 babies, he was the biggest. He loves superheroes. When he was 3 years old, he took his sleeping blanket and had me tie it around his neck like a cape. He and his brother would pull up diapers and pull them over their heads to conceal their identities, just like Batman and Spider-Man. He did this every day for about a year or so. Weekends during early summer were the most active for the superhero because adjacent to our backyard was a baseball field. The announcer's box was just above our 8-feet fence. To Alex, the announcer's box was a spaceship full of aliens, and he had to protect the world from them. He would fill up his super soaker and dash off to the spaceship to shoot the aliens. The announcers got a real kick out of being squirted at on summer days. When he was done with his escapades, he would come back into the house sweaty, dirty, and smelling like a boy. Wide-eyed and red cheeks, he'd talk about how he had saved the world from the bad guys. As he talked about his adventures, I would wash his face and hands at the kitchen sink and make him lunch. After eating, we would cuddle on the sofa, and before long, he would fall asleep in my arms. From him, I learned that life is an adventure, and it requires bravery, nobleness, and someone to share it. Now, my baby Belle. One weekend, the boys were away with their father at the Air Force at the Air Force Base, and Belle's cousin Salem was staying with us. The girls spent the day swimming and playing Barbie. That evening after dinner, I tried to get the girls down for bed, but they weren't ready to end the day just yet. Bella begged me to play dress up with her, and so I did. We pulled out the hot rollers and all my makeup, and we gave each other a glamorous makeover with plenty of wet lipstick. To complete the look, Belle pulled out her princess dresses. Belle was Tinkerbell, Salem was Cinderella, and I wore a gown too. As the girls insisted on going out, but I couldn't think of where I could possibly take a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old at 10 o'clock at night. Bella suggested we go to the grocery store and pick up ice cream. I wasn't sure I wanted to go to the grocery store in a gown, but I figured it was late and no one would be around to see me. As we entered the store, all you could hear was the clacking sound of plastic heels on the floor enabling little girls. We received curious looks from some of the customers, and the cashier thought the girls looked beautiful. As we left the store, the girls gave the onlookers a royal wave. By the time I pulled my car into the garage, both Belle and Salem had fallen asleep. My daughter is now 16 and still remembers how much fun that event was for her. But excuse me. I learned from this experience that creating good memories for our children and for ourselves is important. This past August, my marriage of 30 years ended. The icebreaker speech was a challenge for me because every time I start to write something about myself, the only thing that I could think of was the pink horse. Part of the reason I joined Toastmasters sorry, is to start finding out who I am now. My identity as a wife is no longer that of the Lord. And I realize my relationship with my children is also changing me. The truth is that aside from having been a wife and a mother, I don't know what else I am. I don't know what else I'm capable of, and I don't know what to do. There's a wonderful song on a group called Casting Crowns, and the lyrics are as follows. Who am I that the Lord Almighty should care to know my name and should care to know my heart? Who am I that the bright and morning star should look on me with love and cure my aching heart? Although I don't know what my purpose is yet, I want to be bold like Armando, brave like my superhero Alex, and ready to create new memories and friends like my Bella, Madam President.